Now, would you consider taking your pet to a naturopath? Liza Schneider is a holistic vet and she's here on Good Morning to tell you how you can heal your furry friends the natural way. Welcome, Liza.
Thanks,
what sort of ailments are we talking about here?
Oh, you name it, just about anything. I treat a lot of animals with itchy skin conditions, allergies, things like cancer, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, just your normal cuts and bruises, the normal kind of vet stuff. Whatever there is, we try and find a way to fix it.
Is it the same sort of homeopathy you'd use for a human?
Similar. It's not necessarily just homeopathy. With alternative therapies, there's a whole wealth of diversity of the many things that you can use to help to support and treat humans and animals. And most of the stuff that is used for humans can be used for animals, and frequently the animals respond a whole lot better.
It's a rather odd occupation, isn't it? I mean, how many of you are there?
A heap of vets around, but I guess vets that integrate alternative therapies, there are approximately 45 to 50 in New Zealand that integrate it to a lesser or greater degree into their conventional practice.
Is it big overseas?
Yes, very big growing trend. New Zealand's taken a little while to get started, but in the US and certainly in the UK...
Why doesn't that surprise me? How did you get involved in this?
Basically, while I was growing up, I always became frustrated with health problems. For my brother, who was a little bit sickly, he got successfully treated by a homeopath, and for myself, I used to be very active on the sports field, and when I'd get an injury and the doctor would tell me you've got to wait 4 weeks before you can get back playing, I didn't like that. So I'd always find a way, and there was always some osteopath or kinesiologist or chiropractor or something that had me back in action within a couple of days. So I quickly learned that where there's a will, there's a way, and I'm passionate about fixing animals, and whatever works best to improve their quality of life, I want to use it and find out about it. So there's just a huge amount of resources that I have to tap into to improve the quality of animals' lives.
Well, let's talk about some specific cases you've had. What about Luigi the cat?
Okay, Luigi's a cat, and I never got to meet Luigi. He lived down in Nelson, but he was diagnosed with a serious cancerous growth in his tummy, which was inoperable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Luigi.
Yeah.
Loving owner there.
That's the one, the lovely boy. And he was just deteriorating, not too rapidly, but the main thing we did was just to improve his quality of life, addressing nutrition, which is the foundation of health, making use of a few nutritional supplements that are very, very helpful for all sorts of things, just to support the body, and other things that I use like homeopathy, homotoxicology, Neurolink. And his vets were quite amazed at the improvement of quality of life that he had, and his eyes were really wrapped.
In basic, stupid human terms, what are these medicines you're talking about? What sorts of foods specifically?
Basically, the bottom line is that nature knows best, and as clever as we think we are and we try and put it all in a packet, that doesn't necessarily give us the amount of nutrients and the quality of nutrients that the body needs for perfect health. So in giving the body that in the most natural form, how nature intended, you can support the body, and it never ceases to amaze me that when the body is given what it needs, it works wonders to restore its own health.
Right, so is pet food giving our pets what they need?
Depends. There's various different types of pet food available, and there are great differences in the quality of each of them. But for many of the conditions that we're faced with nowadays, we need greater amounts of specific nutrients than what is available.
Like omega-3, for
Exactly.
instance.
Omega-3 fatty acids are a biggie, and they're deficient in optimal amounts in most commercial foods. So I frequently recommend omega-3 fatty acids as a supplement to most of the patients that I see, and in fact I tell the people that I see that I take it too because it gives me a shiny coat.
Now, how far can you go with your pet vet medicine? Do you have a homeopathic remedy for the bullet for the broken leg for the horse, or spading your animals? Do you have an alternative, perhaps?
That's the thing. I consider myself very lucky because I tap into both conventional medicine and the alternative therapies, and I come up with a happy balance. And whilst alternative therapies such as homeopathy, herbal medicine, acupuncture, Bowen therapy, Bach flower essences, you name it, they all help to work wonders in various conditions. There are various things that conventional medicine addresses incredibly well. It can't be beaten. For example, if you have, well, not you, of course, because you're not an animal, but an animal with a broken tooth, for example, that is a structural thing. That is a physical form of damage, and the more subtle therapies can't really address that. A vet would probably need to take that tooth out or repair it and with all our anesthetics and the various things that we use, that would be the approach. However, integrating the alternative things like various supplements such as vitamin C and some homeopathic remedies or herbs that will help the animal to recover that much better. So hand in hand, it works really well.
So you mentioned Bach flower remedies and subtle remedies. Are you saying that you actually, would you give your cat, for instance, if it had anxiety, would you give it rescue remedy?
Absolutely.
Really?
The stuff really amazes me, and I haven't done much training, but I work side by side with a lot of my friends and colleagues who work as practitioners in those fields. And one of my patients, his name is Salvador. He's this big, handsome cat, and he struts around the neighbourhood, sometimes wreaking a bit of havoc, but the big problem is that he sprays inside.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Now, conventional medicine, we end up suppressing that behaviour often with various types of behaviour-modifying drugs because we don't really have the tools to help to deal with that.
Does that mean tranquilizers?
Sometimes,
right.
Yeah, it varies. It varies. Often it's because we take these animals out of the natural environment, put them in the middle of suburbia with a million other cats around, and it's out of nature, so he would be spraying around because it's not really what he'd like to live in, ideally. But what I did was I chatted to my friend Gay, who helps me with the Bach flower essences, and we put together a little magic potion, you may call it, for Salvador. And I was a little bit skeptical because I hadn't tried this on a spraying cat before. And I sent it off to the owner, and she used it, and I had a note back from her saying, Salvador's just improved. After his first dose, he turned into a calm, docile pussycat, and he stopped spraying.
So you developed politeness in a cat using herbs?
Bach flower essences.
Okay, Bach flower essences.
Yeah.
Now, you also do something called Neurolink.
Yes.
And you were telling me earlier that can cure cold sores and things. How so?
That helps with such things. With all of the alternative therapies or complementary therapies, it's quite of a big jump to say that it can cure something. What most of these therapies do is they help to support the body and help the body to recognize what is wrong, and it gives the body all those basic tools and ingredients and gently guides it to heal itself. So cure is a big word, but helping the body to heal up itself is something that, as I say, never ceases to amaze me. With Neurolink, it's a system that was developed by Alan Phillips, he's a Kiwi, and he's taken this around the world. How it works is that it recognizes that the body has inherent healing wisdom, and in order for it to repair itself, it's just a matter of helping the brain to recognize what is wrong. And this may sound a little bit weird, but there's a lot of science behind it. So simply by helping the brain to recognize the part of the body that is malfunctioning, or for example with a cold sore or fever blister, and tapping the head, that tells the brain to reconnect the system that it hasn't.
Tapping the head?
Yeah. So it may sound really out there, but it works.
I'm almost a believer. I'll come and see you next time I've got a cold sore. Where do I tap? Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Evie.